A few months ago, I asked Crossway if I can get a review copy of this book, and they graciously sent it to me. And boy, am I glad I requested this book to review. This is one of the coolest things, one of the most unique books, and really one of the most beautiful Bibles I've ever seen. Actually, it's not a Bible, it's a book. I highly recommend this book. I'm so excited about this book. I know it doesn't reflect it in my voice because the kids are sleeping upstairs, but I am so excited about this book and I love this book. I think the main reason why I'm excited about this book is because this really is going to make a great evangelism tool or gift to people who are wanting to know more about Christ and wanting to know more about our faith. Let me tell you about Unfolding Grace. Unfolding Grace tells the story of the Bible through 40 guided readings, and they use actual excerpts of the scriptures. Here's the table of contents, and you can see that there's a short introduction, and then the story of the Bible is told in 7 parts. Part 1, the story begins, which is creation, all the way to part 2, which is the Exodus, God's people redeemed. Part 3 is God's kingdom established. Part 4, God's kingdom declined and partially restored. Part 5, the hope of restoration. Part 6, the drawing of the kingdom. And then part 7, the gospel spreads and all is made new. So you can see it begins in Genesis, goes all the way to Revelation. Unfolding Grace also has beautiful illustrations, 40 of them, done by Peter Voth. And these are just fantastic illustrations. This has an illustration of the first part, so each of the 7 parts is going to have an illustration. This is the illustration that tells the story of God's creation and humanity's fall, but take a look at that illustration. Isn't that beautiful? This book is going to have, in addition to these beautiful illustrations, it's going to have an introduction. And the content of these introductions, as well as the content within the book too, they are written by Drew Hunter. So this is the first part. Part 1, God's creation and humanity's fall. So there's going to be an introduction, a very short introduction and commentary, and then it's going to use Genesis chapters 1 through 4 for this one part. So no verse numbers, no chapter numbers. It's just going to be told, the actual scriptures are going to be used in a narrative way. So this first part is God's creation and humanity's fall, and then when it ends, part 2 begins with the flood and God's covenant with Noah. And you can see again, there's an introduction and commentary before they give you Genesis chapter 6 all the way through 9. Again, no chapter numbers, no verse numbers. It's just a straight narrative. Let me turn to the New Testament. Here we are in Jesus' death and resurrection. Again, there's an introduction and short commentary. And then they use Mark chapter 13 through 16 to tell the death of Jesus and his resurrection. So you could see the format of this book is basically like a format of any book that you would find. It's a single column. This has really thick cream-colored pages. This is also Smythe sewn. Let me show you what the spine, top of the spine looks like. You can see that it's Smythe sewn. And also, because this is a tool that's going to help you to understand the story of the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, there is a study guide that's available that you could get for $4.99 off of Christian Book. I should say this book is $13.99 at Christian Book. And if you get this book plus the study guide, I think it's something like, $14.99, or it's much cheaper if you get this book along with its study guide too. The target audience of this book, obviously, is going to be people who are exploring Christianity and want to know what the story of the scriptures are, or what the story of the scriptures is about. This is also ideal for new Christians who, again, are looking for a way to understand the scriptures, but maybe are intimidated by reading through all 66 books of the Bible. This is also great for seasoned Christians who want a 40-day devotional and be reminded of the story of the scriptures. if you want to get a good sweep, a good overview of the scriptures, and you don't necessarily want to read the whole scriptures, all 66 books, this is a great way to, again, be reminded of the overview of the Bible. Let me show you some of the illustrations that are contained in this book. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you had a great time. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.